What's up, guys? Coming to you from the whiteboard. Been working with a lot of guys in the program about trying to get bigger, put some size on, gain some weight.
Buff.
So, we've all been kind of tracking what we're eating, talking amongst ourselves about our diet, nutrition, all that stuff. And a lot of the same questions kind of keep coming up. I thought I would try to do a quick video just explaining some basic fundamental principles when it comes to nutrition. So we're here at the whiteboard. I'm just gonna go over calories and macros, man. It's a big question. How many calories should I be eating? What should my macros be? Things of that nature. What are macros? Some people don't even know what macros are. But no more, because after this video, you're gonna know exactly the answers to all those questions. Or at least a very good direction as to how to go about it. So, calories and macros. First question, what are macros? These are our macros: protein, carbs, and fats. They've been right in front of your face the whole time. Everybody knows what protein is. Everybody knows carbohydrates and fats. Those are your macros, macronutrients. Macros are short for macronutrients. And you've heard a lot of diets, if it fits your macros, basically saying you can eat whatever you want as long as you're getting this many grams of protein, this many grams of carbs, this many grams of fat. It doesn't matter if the carbs come from sweet potato or donuts or pizza or rice, which I do not endorse in any way, shape, or form. But that's a real diet. That's really out there. So, calories and macros. Macros, protein, carbs, and fats. Our calories come from the macros. So whenever you look on a nutrition label and you see how many calories are in a certain food, those total calories in whatever food you're looking at is made up of the macronutrients within that food. So, protein. For every 1 gram of protein, we have 4 calories. For every gram of carbs, 1 gram of carbohydrates also yields 4 calories. Fat yields 9 calories per gram, so it's the most calorically dense macronutrient. So looking at this, your protein shake, if you have a protein shake you take post-workout that has 0 grams of fat in it, 0 grams of carbs, and it's just straight protein, if it's, 1 scoop is 30 grams of protein, well, if we know that if 1 gram of protein yields 4 calories, and your protein shake, 1 scoop has 30 grams of protein, then when you do 30 times 4 would yield 120 calories. So if you look on that nutrition label, total calories in 1 serving or 1 scoop should be 120 calories. That's where the calories come from. So you can see, your peanut butter that's got, 8 grams of protein and 2 tablespoons and 14 grams of fat and 2 grams of carbs, whatever. Knowing how many calories are in each gram of the macronutrient, you can figure out how many calories are in a particular food. That's where it comes from. That's where the calories come from, and that's what the macronutrients are. So, the next question would yield, how many calories should I be eating? And that's based off of what your goal is. So basically, everybody is going to fall in line in one of 3 parties. Either A, you want to lose weight, B, you're trying to maintain your weight, or if you're maintaining your weight, you might be trying to, kind of do some recomposition, maybe drop some fat and gain some muscle, but kind of relatively stay at the same weight. And then there is gains, trying to gain weight, get big, get jacked, which is what we're trying to do right now in the facility here. So, based off of those goals, if you are trying to lose weight, now, before I go into this, I want to preface this. Whenever you are trying to make things very simple and you're trying to group all of society into a certain formula, there is always going to be exceptions to the rule. This is just what works most often for most people, okay? So I want to preface all this with that. So take all this and see how it applies to your certain situation. Don't take this for the gospel. Take this as information. You can apply it, tweak it as needed, and make the adjustments necessary for your individual situation. Now, going into that, if you're trying to lose weight, what works most often for most people is your body weight times 11 to 14, okay? So for easy math, if I'm 200 pounds and I'm trying to lose weight, 11 times 200 would be 2,200 calories. Okay, that's the low end of that window. You could add, you could go to the upper end. So, a 200-pound guy would put you at 2,200 to 14 would be 2,800. So like that's your window, 2,200 to 2,800 calories to lose weight. So, you could start at the high end of that, see if you start losing weight. If you don't, then you can start to, maybe dial it back a little bit. I always say, if you're trying to lose weight, start at the higher end of your window, because you can always take more calories out. Start at 2,800. And if you start losing weight, that's great. And then when you plateau, you can maybe take a little bit more out. But if you start at 2,200 and then you hit a plateau, you really don't want to go much lower than that. So you really start to kind of hurt yourself, because you can only keep taking so much out. So I'm not a big fan of deprivation and just cutting everything out, just lower calorie, lower calorie, lower calorie. I'm actually a big advocate of feeding weight off, but that's another video. So get your window, boom, there you go. Losing weight, that's your window. Start at the high end, you can make adjustments for there. And you apply that same principle to each one of these other windows. Maintaining your weight or recomp work is your body weight times 14 to 16, there's your window. And then gaining weight, your body weight times 16 to 18, boom, there's your window. Now for gaining weight, you want to do the opposite you did over here. Start at the high end. Start at the low end, and then you can always keep adding in more there. So that is how you figure out how many calories you should be eating. Now, once we figure out the calories, so we already figured this out. So let's say 2,800 calories. This particular guy, we're gonna put him at 2,800 calories a day. So we know that's how many calories we need. Now, the macros make up the calories. How do we figure out the distribution of macros within that caloric window? Meaning how many grams of protein, how many grams of carbs, and how many grams of fat should I be eating to make up this 2,800? That is very individualistic, but there is one constant approach I like to take when it comes to macros, and that is starting with protein, because protein, especially for athletes, which is the majority of what I'm working with, and honestly, if you are physically active in any way, shape, or form, going to the gym on a regular basis, lifting on a regular basis, exercising on a regular basis, you fall into this category, in my opinion. And that category is focusing and prioritizing protein above all your other macronutrients. So when it comes to protein, we'll just kind of go off the side here. I like 0.8 to 1.2 grams per pound of body weight. That seems to be, that's almost universally accepted now, I would think. Some people will start to go off of lean body mass and stuff. And like I said, whenever you're trying to group all of society into one particular formula, there's always going to be exceptions. Obviously, if you're 450 pounds, you might not need to be doing 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight.
Get in my belly!
In instances like that, you can maybe use lean body mass and things of that nature. But like I said, this is what works for most people most of the time. So to keep it easy, if we're at 0.8 to 1.2 grams per pound of body weight, we got a 200-pound guy. That would put me at, we'll take right the middle of that window for easy math. That would put me at 200 grams of protein, which equals, if it's 4 calories per gram, that equals 800 calories. Right? Can you guys see that? Kind of go on this side. 200-pound guy, 200 grams of protein, 4 calories per gram, gives me 800 calories. So if I have 800 calories already taken up from protein, and we're eating 2,800 calories a day, that leaves me 2,000 calories left to make up the between carbs and fat. Fat is important, okay? Fat, carbs is probably the only non-essential macronutrient, okay? Protein's essential. Your body needs protein. Your skin, hair, nails, muscles, bones, cells, everything in your body is made up of protein. So protein is essential. Fat is essential because you need fat for hormone production. Your brain, there's fats that are very healthy and good food for your brain. Carbs are not essential. Yes, it is our body's preferred fuel source, but our body can do things to create different types of fuel to kind of use as a substitute for carbs if we don't have access to them. So carbs are not essential. So after we figure out protein, I figure out fat. And just for overall health purposes, you want probably roughly at least 20 to 25% of your total calories coming from fat, okay? So if we're looking at 2,800 calories total, and we wanna look at, 25% of that coming from fat, that leaves me, my math is correct off the top of my head here, would be 700 calories. So we need 700 calories from fat, which would equal 700. Man, I should have did this beforehand and figured all this math instead of, I planned none of this.
We'll do it live.
Okay. Well, no.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Okay. I think we're gonna be somewhere around like 76, 77 grams.
12. 7.
We'll just put 77 grams. You know what? I like round numbers. We'll just say 80. 80 grams of fat, okay? And 80 grams of fat would give us 720 calories. So look at that, I wasn't too far off. 720 calories. So now we have the 2,000 that was left minus another 720. Leaves you with 1,280. 1,280 calories left, okay? And that is what's left to make up our carbohydrates. So knowing that carbs are 4 calories per gram, that's gonna put us at, I believe, that's 320 grams of carbs for the day. And that right there would be how you figure it out. Like I said, this is a formula that needs to be applied to you. It's gonna take tinkering, it's gonna take adjusting, but all this is a starting baseline. You start here, it gives you a good rough estimate. And I don't do this stuff anymore, very rarely. When I'm starting to, if I wanna gain weight, I'll do it for a week or two just to kind of see where I'm at. So that way I can make the adjustments moving forward, and then it's pretty much intuitive at that point. Because I've done this in the past. I've done this, and then once you get used to it, guys, you start to kind of get to know your body, and it's not that big of a deal. There's so many apps out there now that do so much of this for you already. You don't have to crunch really the numbers and stuff. The app I like the most and I use the most is called Chronometer, and I'll put like a snapshot of it in the video. And I like that one because you can put your goals in there, figures out all your macros for you. You can even adjust the percentages yourself if you want to. You put your goal weight in there, whatever you want to do, the timetable for it. But also it covers your micronutrients, so like your vitamins, your minerals, and all that stuff, and seeing, making sure that the foods you're getting are high enough quality where you're getting all the micronutrients with that food. So that way you're not doing one of those if it fits your macros. That's why I'm not an advocate of that diet. Saying, okay, I need 200 grams of protein, 320 grams of carbs, and 80 grams of fat. I can eat whatever the hell I want as long as I get those numbers. Doesn't matter if it comes from hot dogs and pizza, or if it comes from, steak and rice. No, that's horseshit, because the good food, the steak, the potatoes, the vegetables, the stuff like that, it's filled with micronutrition. Your vitamins, your minerals, the stuff the building blocks of your body, the stuff that your body utilizes to carry out, what it was meant to do. You don't get that from shitty food. So that's why I'm an advocate of whole food and not, and I don't endorse the if it fits your macros diet, because that's garbage. And that's why I like Chronometer, because you can see if the foods that you're eating are high quality, seeing if you're having any deficiencies in your micronutrition, which is really important. That's really the backbone of health right there. So I hope this makes sense, guys. I hope, you know, it just gives you a general idea, general direction of how you go about figuring this stuff out. If you have any other questions, let me know. If there's anything else you want to break down here on the whiteboard, some basics, some whiteboard basics. Maybe that's what we'll call this this series, some whiteboard basics. Just covering some basic fundamental principles of things. Hit me up. Let me know what you want to learn, and I'll get it out to you guys. Till then, like the video, share the video. Appreciate you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.